And the lineup off grid number 1 from Auckland, the 27 car of Hayden Guptill. On the outside on row number 2, grid number 2, it is the 94 car from Christchurch, Charles Gardner. Then we go back to grid number 3, it is the 41 of Jason Graham. Starting on the outside is the 87 car of Scott Bailey. Grid number 5 on the inside of the third row, it is the 12 car of Kimberly Yeatman. On the outside in grid position number 6 is the 89 of Gareth Bindon. Grid number 7 on the inside from Auckland, it is the 47A car of Morgan McHugh. And on the outside in grid position number 8, it is the 19 car from Christchurch of Mike Hyslop. Grid number 9, it is the 26 car from Christchurch of Gavin Chappell. And on the outside in position number 10, it is the 14A car from Auckland of Paul Lecren. Starting out of grid position number 11, it is the new New Zealand TQ champion, the 1NZ of Matthew Levisage. On the outside in grid position number 12, it is the 24 car from Christchurch, Daniel Jenkins. Grid number 13 sees the 11 car from Christchurch, Liam McCoubrey. And on grid number 14, the now 2NZ of Dwayne Todd. Then we go back to grid position number 15. It is the 92 car of Ryan Chapman. And starting out of grid position number 16, filling the final spot on the grid, is 62 Mark Morris. So getting set here, group number 1 versus group number 2. K&T Drainage, TQ Masters. Remember, we start 3 wide tomorrow night for the 3 heats. At front row, 27 Hayden Guptill. On the outside, 94 Charles Gardner getting set, not getting set for a start. Obviously a couple of issues on the track. And just a correction there, it is actually 17 Hayden Guptill. Hayden's actually gone back to his normal number. He was running car 27 over in Greymouth last weekend. So Hayden Guptill on the front row running car 7. So there has been a hold-up for the 2NZ of Dwayne Todd. They're just getting the car out there. And he will start out of grid position number 14 in the efficient moving and storage number 2NZ. So Dwayne just letting the field pass on by so he can slot into the outside of the second to last row. 16 cars in this first group. It is going to be a fantastic first heat and a great way to start off tonight. Of course, this one's set to go over 15 laps. So the field just rolling around. That front row, Hayden Guptill in the 17 car, Charles Gardner in the 94 on the outside, Jason Graham and Scott Bailey. 12 Kimberly Yeatman, Gareth Bindon winning a heat last weekend. Here we go, we're getting set 15 laps. TQ Masters qualifying heat number 1. This is group 1 versus group 2. They just start to pick up the pace as they head down to the chalk box. The green flag flies. And we're underway down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend for the first time. And around the front the leader goes. And we've got 1 upside down, 2, 3 upside down. 41 Jason Graham involved there. 62 Mark Morris. Not sure what the other number is on that car down there. Just having a look. Looks like it could be... We'll just have to wait and see who's over there. So the safety crew head on over, the first rollover of the evening, and was very lucky, a couple of cars to avoid that one. Matthew Levisage, the New Zealand champion, was very lucky to make it out of there. He's still rolling around on the track. Paul Lecren, another one that was lucky to avoid that, starting out of grid position number 10. So the 62 car of Mark Morris rejoins onto the track. Not 1 lap in the book, so it will be a complete restart. Hayden Guptill and Charles Gardner. The Gardner car involved over there. The officials...
Yes, Nathan, Mark Morris will just have a wee look at that. He's been sitting upside down, just a bit of a test run to see if he can rejoin the field. We're just looking, I think they're going to try and give Charles a wee push off and see if he can continue as well. And we should all be back into it.
So it looks like we've just lost the one of the 41 car of Jason Graham out of that first lap incident. Of course, a very hot day here in Christchurch and trying to keep the water into the track. Just caught out the race leader, Hayden Guptill. Led the field down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Now, if you're not familiar here, turns 1 and 2 are referred to the CJ Phillips Construction Town Bend. So that's the bend closest to town, and then down the other end closest towards the prison is the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. That is turn 3 and 4. Drama for the 1NZ, Matthew Levisage. He is on the infield. That is not a great way to start your TQ Masters. Okay, looks like we're getting set for a restart this time around. The green flag is up and ready. They hit the box and we get set for another restart. Group 1 versus Group 2. And it is down the inside. It is Charles Gardner, but round the outside comes the 87 car of Scott Bailey and a grid position number 4. As they head down into the Stadium Cars Prison Bend for the first time, they all make it through in second place and round the outside. Looking for a way now, ducks down the inside. That's the 89 car of Gareth Bindon. Moves his way up into the race lead. Scott Bailey in the 87 car sitting there in second place. Then the 47 car of Morgan McHugh from Auckland. Here comes Paul Lecren down the inside in the 14 car. And we've got Morris spun around in the CJ Phillips Town Bend. The racing is still under green. Nope, they've gone yellow. And Morris is now able to restart the car. 89 Bindon now pulled into the infield, bit of smoke pouring out the inside car. So Bindon's on the infield. That leaves 87 Scott Bailey as the new race leader. And we're back under the green. Scott Bailey leading the field off from the restart. 47 Morgan McHugh sitting there in second spot from Paul Lecren in the 14 car. Third place is now the 2NZ of Dwayne Todd. Sitting in behind is the 12 car Kimberly Yeatman. And McHugh's down low on the inside, right over the grass, allowing Scott Bailey to pull a bit of a gap as they head through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend once again. They cross the stripe with 11 laps to go. And it is Bailey out in front from McHugh. He's under all sorts of pressure from the 2NZ. Oh, Paul Lecren slides up wide on the exit of turn number 2. And Todd is hauling underneath. He makes an inside pass over the 47 of McHugh, moves himself into second place and chasing down the race leader, 87 Scott Bailey, with 10 laps to go. So it's Bailey leading the way. Todd sitting there in second. The 47 car of Morgan McHugh doing a fantastic job. Here comes Paul Lecren down the inside. Down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend they go. Lecren moves up into position number 3. Here comes Dwayne Todd down the inside through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend they go. Todd's down low and he has made the pass into the race lead. 2NZ, Dwayne Todd leading the way. Second place still being held down by Scott Bailey. Morgan McHugh's managed to get back underneath the inside of Paul Lecren for third position. Then we go back to 12 Kimberly Yeatman. Here comes the 11 car of Liam McCoubry, looking for a way past the 12 car of Kimberly Yeatman. Gavin Chappell the next one in the queue. Then the 17 of Hayden Guptill. They're running wheel for third and fourth. And it's Lecren down the inside of the 47 of McHugh. So Lecren moving back up into third position. That's where the battle on the racetrack is at the moment. Dwayne Todd and the 2NZ starting to clear out from the field. Bailey in the 87 car there. McCoubry looking for a way round the outside using the high line right on the edge of the racing line. trying to find a way past the 12 car of Yeatman with 4 laps to go this time around. They head down the back straight. It's Todd. Scott Bailey sitting there in second place. Paul Lecren is catching at a fast rate of knots. Is he going to run out of laps for a challenge for second place? And we've got the 92 car of Chapman stopped down in turn number 1 and 2. That'll bring on the yellow. Chapman just managing to get the car refired, but that'll send him to the back of the pack with 4 laps to go. What a drive. The 2NZ of Dwayne Todd coming from grid position number 14. He is now leading the race with 4 laps to go. Scott Bailey just keeping his cool, sitting there in second from the pole line man of Paul Lecren. McHugh sitting there in that 4th position. Radio, we're getting set for a restart. 4 laps to go. It's a very slow start from Dwayne Todd. He hits the box and he's away. Leading the field down to the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Bailey's right on the bumper as they head through the turn and down the back straight. Paul Lecren right on the bumper of Bailey as they head through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Liam McCoubrey all over the back of Kimberly Yeatman, and he going round the outside. McHugh makes a mistake. He stops in the middle of the racetrack and moves back 4 positions. And now McCoubrey round the outside of the 12 of Yeatman moves himself up into the 4th place. McHugh has fallen back in behind the 17 car of Hayden Guptill. White flag to come out next time round. Just 1 lap to go for the race leader. Dwayne Todd takes out the white flag. Oh, we've got carnage down in the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Yeatman's involved with the 17 of Guptill and the 26 car of Gavin Chappell. So, with a couple of laps to go, the tables have turned again. So, we'll try that one again. What an exciting 15 laps, the first TQ heat. This is, of course, for the K&T Drainage TQ Masters. Remember, this is only Group 1 versus Group 2, and already we've started to see some big casualties. 1NZ Matthew Leversedge on the infield. 17 Hayden Guptill as well, another one. 89 Gareth Bindon, a strong contender. Rightio, we're getting set for a restart. Starter Mark O'Connor's got the green flag in hand. They'll lead them round to the chalk box line, and we'll get back underway. So as they head on down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend, Lecren's right underneath. Oh, and we've got one over. That's a big tumble. Gavin Chappell just riding over the right rear of the 47 of Morgan McHugh. That was a big one. And the McHugh's cast coming to a halt on the back straight. So obviously issue there for McHugh. Lost power, and that has resulted in the 26 car Gavin Chappell and going upside down. Wow, they're dropping like flies, the TQ Midgets. 15 laps is a long way. So they are going to declare the race, and that will be 2NZ, Dwayne Todd taking the win. Second home, the 87 of Scott Bailey, and Paul Lecren coming home in position number 3.
Want a great night out for all the family? Want great value? Need excitement? Need action, thrills, speed and spills? Then you need to be at your local Speedway's next race meeting. It's got it all! Speedway, the entertainment sport.
Group number 4, their first run tonight. Starting off grid position number 1, it is the 88 car of Matt Davison. Starting on grid position number 2, it is the 83 car of Ben Gilmore. Starting out of grid position number 3, it is the 8 from Miani of Craig Todd. Starting out of grid position number 4, it is the 93 car of Ben Smith. Grid number 5 is the 72 car of Brett Booth. Grid number 6 to the 16 car of Kyle Glover. Grid number 7 is the 4 car of Daniel McKinley. Grid position number 8 is the 8C of Jeremy Webb. Grid number 9 is the 14 car of Clayton Phillips. Grid position number 10 going to the 74 car of Sean Brown from Greymouth. And grid number 11 is the 71A car, the 3NZ of Danny Keane. Grid position number 12 going to the 67 car from Auckland of Jaden Bush. Grid position 13 to the 18A of Shane Phillips. Grid position 14 to the 21 of Tim Yellowlees. And on the back row is the 6N of Alicia McLaughlin. Great to see Shane Phillips back out last weekend, Aaron. He wasn't feeling too well, so sat out the New Zealand TQ Championships in order to get himself fit for this weekend. The Masters is certainly one of those events that some of those guys really want to do, and a great couple of weekends. The Nationals over in Greymouth last weekend, and now the K&T Drainage, the 20th edition of the TQ Masters. 3 wide racing tomorrow night. It's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yes, of course, the 20th running of this prestigious event, and good to see a good strong showing of 3/4 midgets, or TQs as we like to call them, here at Ruapuna Speedway. So obviously you know the locals here. Who's the hot shoe which we look for on this one? Which cars do you reckon will get to the pointy end of proceedings?
Jeremy Webb certainly stamped his authority with the feature wins and the heat wins so far. He's won 9 or 10 in a row with the TQs. So Jeremy Webb...
problems down there, sorry to cut you off, problems down there. Car is stopped on halfway down the front straightaway. That's
the 21 of Tim Yellowlees. The bike getting in behind there, just checking out.
You must wonder, Nathan, the type of pressure that puts on everybody. Of course, you're all strapped in, you're ready to go, you're driving around next one, hello, you stop. The race cars are circulating.
I know that feeling personally, Aaron. I bet you know that feeling as well.
I know from a car owner's point of view, it's certainly not good.
From a driver's point of view, it's certainly not fantastic. And
drama onto the infield already. So this well and truly could be this could be a 25-minute TQ race.
You never know. Okay, so the field set round behind the Equus Pace Ute. And certainly don't count out the Craig Todd machine. Starting on grid position number 3 towards the front. One of the efficient moving and storage cars has already taken out the first heat. Can Craig Todd double it up and go back-to-back for the team with a win in event number 2? This is the K&T Drainage TQ Masters qualifying heat number 2, Group 3 versus Group 4. The lights are out. We're getting set to go. 15 laps the distance. They make their way round the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. They'll just start to pick the pace up for the chalk box. They must start side by side in the chalk box. The green flag flies, and it's Ben Gilmore that leads the field down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend for the first time. And 8, Jeremy Webb, straight through into second place, around the outside of the 88 of Matt Davison and the 8 car of Craig Todd. And we've got a very slow car at the back of the field. The bonnet has come up, or it's departed, on the 99 car. The 93 car of Ben Smith. He's on the infield. The action at the front, and it's Webb all over the back end of the 83 car of Ben Gilmore. Gilmore out in front. Third place is held down by the 8 car of Craig Todd. Then we go back to 16, Kyle Glover down the inside of the 88 of Matt Davison. That is for position 4 on the racetrack. Here comes Danny Keane in the 71 car, right round the outside of the 88 of Davison and round the outside of the car of 16, Kyle Glover. Meanwhile, at the front, down the low, is the 8 car of Jeremy Webb, and through to the lead he goes. Webb in the 8 machine out in front. The battle for 4th and 5th position sees Glover right up the tail of the 71 of Danny Keane. And behind them is the 88 of Davison. Then we go back to a good battle between 74 from Greymouth, Sean Brown, and the 67 of Jaden Bush. Shane Phillips, here comes Bush down the inside. He's got the pass on Brown. Can he get the 2 of them? He has. 9 laps to go. And Brown having a battle with the 88 of Davison now as they head down into the CJ Phillips town bend. Oh, Brown just gets a little hung up. And Shane Phillips right in there has to get on the anchors. Phillips going for a dive down the inside through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. They run side by side. Out of the turn they go, and Shane Phillips now through in front of the 74 of Sean Brown. And we've got one spun, and it is the 14 of Clayton Phillips. And very lucky that he didn't put that one over. He's managed to keep the car going, but they have brought on the yellow, so that will leave Clayton Phillips to the rear of the field with 8 laps to go. Out in front though, leading the way, it is all Jeremy Webb. This will close them up with Ben Gilmore right in behind. 8 Craig Todd from the Bay sitting there in third. Then the 3NZ 71 of Danny Keane.
Almost at the halfway distance, 8 laps to go in this round 2 of the K&T Drainage TQ Masters qualifying. Heat 2, Group 3 and 4. I tell you what, it's looking like going to be a real good battle. Gilmore versus Webb, that's where I think the money is for this one.
We'll have to keep an eye on that one, getting set for a restart. Webb leads them down, and whoa, that was a very messy start there. And look at that, round the outside goes the 8 car of Craig Todd. And Webb back down the inside. So Webb, nope, they're going to go yellow. Yeah, Kyle Glover was almost up on the infield over the pole line for that start. Jeremy Webb very slow. Aaron, we've seen it a wee bit before where the front car certainly tries to get an advantage over the start, where they sort of jump on the brakes and then go again. And that will certainly bunch the field up and give that front guy the advantage.
Yeah, certainly about the balking of the start. Be interesting how that unfolds in the midget cars, but I think we're looking for a start this time by. And yeah, you're right. Here we are. We're racing, Nathan.
Jeremy Webb in the 8 car leads the field off. Here comes Danny King down the inside. Underneath the 8 of Craig Todd. They run side by side. Todd's got it at the moment as they head down into the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. It's Webb opening advantage over 83 Ben Gilmore. Gilmore just dropping off a little bit off the back of the Webb machine. Then the great battle between the 8 of Craig Todd and the 71 of Danny Keane. Kyle Glover's the next one in the queue from Jaden Bush. 18 Shane Phillips. Then the 88 of Davison battling with the 74 car of Sean Brown. 4 Daniel McKinley, 6 Alicia McLaughlin, and 14 of Clayton Phillips rounding out the field. So the battle we're watching at the moment is for 3rd and 4th position. It's the 8 of Craig Todd and the 71 car, who is the 3NZ of Danny Keane. Here goes Bush around the outside of Kyle Glover. They run side by side down the back straight. Bush around the outside. He picks up position number 5. Although here comes Glover back down the inside. The door gets shut by Bush. Just 4 laps left to run in this one. As we watch Daniel McKinley down the inside of the 18 of Shane Phillips for position. Alicia McLaughlin's managed to get around the outside of Sean Brown from Greymouth, the 6 car. And the nose cone on the 18 car seems to be flapping around on the front, maybe affecting the performance on the front end of that machine. Will it cost him a couple more positions? You can clearly see it's in an upright position. White flag is going to come out this time around for 8C Jeremy Webb. Then we wait for the 83 car to cross the line. 8 Craig Todd from 71 of Danny Keane. It looks like that's the way they're going to finish as they come out of turn number 4. It will be the 8 car of Jeremy Webb taking home the win. Second home will be Ben Gilmore from 8 Craig Todd. Danny Keane in the 71 machine from 67 Jaden Bush. Then the 16 Kyle Glover. Daniel McKinley. 18 Shane Phillips from Alicia McLaughlin. 74 Sean Brown. 88 Matt Davison. And rounding out the field, it is the 14 car of Clayton Phillips.
It's mag wheel sale time at Mag and Turbo. We've got 14-inch mags for $99, 15-inch mags $129, and 17-inch mags from $169. Finance is available, but only from Mag and Turbo.
Well, we move on to the TQs, and let's hope they can be a little better behaved this time round, Nathan.
Yeah, we certainly do. This is the K&T Drainage TQ Masters, event number 8, heat number 3. This is Group 1 versus Group 3. A couple of scratchings for this one. 92 Ryan Chapman is out, and also the 41 Jason Graham. And in the next heat as well is the 89 of Gareth Bindon. So we'll run you through the grid lineup. On the front row, it is the 4 car of Daniel McKinlay. On the outside, in grid position number 2, it is the 26 car of Gavin Chappell. Grid number 3 is the 14 car of Clayton Phillips. And on the outside of row number 2, it is the NZ1 of Matt Levisage. Good to see Matt's got the car repaired after the infield of that one. Grid number 5, it is the 71 of Danny Keane. And on grid number 6, it is the 11 of Liam McCoubry. Grid number 7, it is the 18 from Auckland, Shane Phillips. Take out 92, Ryan Chapman. And a grid position number 8. Grid position number 9, it is the 88C of Matt Davison. And grid position number 10, it is the 17 car of Hayden Guptill. Starting out of grid position number 10. Grid position number 11, it is the 8 car of Craig Todd. Out of position 12 was meant to be the 41 of Jason Graham, although Jason Graham is out. Grid 13 is the 72 of Brett Booth. Grid 14 is the 12 of Kimberly Yeatman. And starting on the back row is the 47 of Morgan McHugh. So the Equus Pace Ute leading the field around. Of course, the K&T Drainage 20th running of the TQ Masters. Bit of carnage from Group 1 versus Group 2. This is Group 1 versus Group 3. Of course, all these guys will verse each other tonight for the 3 heats tomorrow night, starting 3 wide. So the Pace Ute on the infield. The field just ambling round. 15 laps is the distance. Can we get through without drama? Daniel McKinlay on the inside, Gavin Chappell on the outside, leading the field round. Remember, they've got to start side by side in the chalk box as they come out of the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Turn 4, they'll just start to pick the pace up, and they drop the hammer, and straight down the inside goes the 71 car of Danny Keane. Matthew Levisage in the 1 car slotting through in there into second place. Daniel McKinlay having to settle for 3rd position, 26 car of Gavin Chappell from the 14 of Clayton Phillips. Shane Phillips in the 18. Here comes 11, Liam McCoubry round the outside as they head down into the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. McCoubry taking the high line, trying to find a way past the 18 of Phillips. Meanwhile, the battle at the front is hot and heavy. The 71 car of Keane leading the 1NZ of Matthew Levisage. Here comes McKinlay round the outside of the 26 of Chappell. That's the battle for 3rd and 4th on the racetrack. Chappell got the lower line sussed. Here comes McCoubry looking for a way out of the CJ Town Bend. He's going to dive down the inside of McKinlay through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend, and Levisage has dropped right off the tail of the race leader, Danny Keane. 11 laps to go. Here comes McCoubry down the inside, got the job done on the 4 of Daniel McKinlay. That moves himself up into 4th position on the charge for the 26 of Chappell. He sits in 3rd place. Here comes the 17 of Guptill down the inside of the 14 of Clayton Phillips. Clayton just shuts the door. Guptill has another look down low. He gets the job done in the middle of the CJ Phillips Town Bend. 47 Morgan McHugh starting right from the rear of the field. He's already made his way up 4 or 5 positions, battling with the 8 of Craig Todd. Here comes Todd down the inside in the 8 car. He gets the move done, just squeezes out wide the 47 of McHugh. Coming under the 14 car of Clayton Phillips. Craig Todd in the 8 machine is starting to make some ground. Here comes Clayton Phillips battling with the 47 of Andrew McHugh. McHugh down low, down the inside, does the crisscross through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Oh, they make contact on the front straight. Phillips regaining in front of McHugh with 6 laps to go this time as they cross the stripe. Danny King coming up onto the back marker, the slower car of Davison clearing out from the field. The front 3 cars have certainly pulled away. McCreary's managed to get himself past the Chapel machine. The battle in behind for 4th, 5th and 6th is heating up. Here goes Guptill down the inside through the Stadium Cars Prison end. He's got McKinley. Can he get Chapel on their run through? No, he can't. Has to slot in behind. Now makes a move down the inside into the CJ Phillips Town men. He moves himself up into 4th place. Hayden Guptill in the 17. Here comes McKinley looking for a move down the inside on Chapel. This is where the battle pack is. Here comes Craig Todd. He's going to start to throw himself into the picture with 4 laps to go. Craig Todd having to settle in behind Chapel. He's going to make a dive down the inside through the Stadium Cars Prison bend as they all head round this back marker of Matt Davison and Craig Todd now in front of the 26 of Chapel with just 3 laps to go. The field starting to spread themselves out and the 88 car pulling to the outside of the track. Is he going to come to a stop? Will this bring on a yellow light with just a couple of laps left to go? The white flag will come out next time round for the race leader Danny Keane. Davison still circling around the top. He's going to become an issue for the cars down the back straight. The white flag is out for Keane. Just 1 lap to go from the 1NZ of Matt Levisage. They've pulled a gap over the 3rd place car of Liam McCurry. Oh, Guptill gets it all wrong through the CJ Phillips Town bend, and McKinley's going to capitalise. No, it's not. The checker flag falls. The race win. Danny Keane taking out the win from 1NZ of Matt Levisage. 11, Liam McCurry, the next one home from 17. Hayden Guptill for Daniel McKinley, the next one from the 8 of Craig Todd. Gavin Chapel from Shane Phillips getting there ahead of Clayton Phillips, Kimberly Yeatman, Brett Booth and Matt Davison finishing out the TQs. Boy, what an outstanding race.
Hi, I'm Scott Williamson and welcome to X Factor Cars. Family owned and operated with 2 locations, Invercargill and Cromwell. Specialising in everything V8 from Holden Ford, HSV, FPV and with Southland's biggest selection of American muscle, we've got most bases covered. You only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. Get the X Factor.
Grid number 8 belongs to the 62 car of Mark Morris. Grid number 9 for the 83 car of Ben Gilmore. Grid number 10, the 94 of Charles Gardner. Grid number 11 going to the 93 of Ben Smith. Grid number 12 will be the 87 of Scott Bailey. Grid number 13 to the 16 car of Kyle Glover. Take out grid 14, 89 Gareth Binden. Grid 15, the 8 car, the winner of the second heat of qualifying, 8 Jeremy Webb. And starting on the back row in grid position number 16, it is the 19 car of Mike Heislop. So that is the field for Group 2 versus Group 4. This is Pantee Drainage TQ Masters qualifying heat number 4. The distance set for 15 laps. They make their way round to the chalk box. They'll just start to pick up the pace. We drop the green flags. We'll send them away down in the CJ Phillips Town bend, and straight away it's Pauline McCren in the 14 car, getting out to the lead from the 2NZ of Dwayne Todd. 74, Sean Brown slotting there into 3rd position from the 67 car of Jaden Bush. Here comes 83, Ben Gilmore. Look out for the 8 car of Jeremy Webb, stuck in behind the 93 of Ben Smith. Looking for a way as they head down into the Stadium Cars Prison bend. Here comes Gilmore down the inside of the 24 of Jenkins. That's ball position number 5. And Gilmore getting through. The next one on the hit list for him will be, Jeremy Webb making contact with the 62 of Mark Morris. That drops him back 4 or 5 positions. And almost back to the rear of the field. Has to do it all again, making up those positions. Meanwhile, battles further up in the field. Charles Gardner with the 16 of Kyle Glover. And already Jeremy Webb going 3 wide down into the Stadium Cars Prison bend, and Webb around the outside. He goes past Glover and the 94 of Charles Gardner. Scotty Bailey slots in there as well. Oh, and Mark Morris almost again making contact with the 8 of Webb. Luckily, Webb are managing to avoid it. Up the front, it is the battle between the 14 of Paul Lacrin and 2NZ of Dwayne Todd. Todd looking for a pass on the outside as they head side by side down the back straight. Todd having to get out of it and allowing Paul Lacrin. He's going to try and give him another run down the front straight. That's the battle for the race lead. As Lacrin catches a bump on the exit of the turn and through to the race lead goes to 2NZ of Dwayne Todd. He's the new race leader. Lacrin dropping back to second, then the battle for third, fourth and fifth. Right on the tail of that is the 83 of Gilmore, chasing the 74 of Brown from Greymouth, and 67 Jaden Bush, who's sitting in third. Jeremy Webb's right on the tail of the 6 of Alicia McLaughlin, and we've got a couple stopped over there in the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Can't quite make out who the other car is, but 19 Mike Hyslop is one of the casualties. Not sure whether you caught a glimpse of that, Warwick.
No, Nathan, because I'm just standing in the pit side of the track at the moment.
Eating your hot dog and chips, no doubt. Okay, so the other car is actually 94 Charles Gardner. So, yes, the right front certainly not going to allow him to carry on in this one. Pointing almost at a 90 degrees, Aaron.
Yeah, no, that's certainly not a good start for him and the TQ Masters. AJ Batt hit the nail on the head, Nathan, and it was real simple. As the sun goes down, the moisture will come back, and that's exactly what's playing here with this TQ race. Yes, the rubber went down early, but I tell you what, it's going to be no walk in the park for these boys as they try and do battle. Everyone wants to get their name on that prestigious silverware.
Dwayne Todd leading the field. Paul Lacrin tucked in behind. Then the 67 of Jaden Bush. Here we go, getting ready for a restart. The green flag drops. And Todd leads them down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend. And Lacrin tucked right in behind Bush. And the 62 car of Morris has problems retiring to the infield. That's not going to affect the play up front. With 7 laps to go. Here comes Ben Gilmore down the inside for third place. Ben Gilmore on a charge and catching the Paul Lacrin machine. Here comes Webb down the inside of Sean Brown. Webb having to try the high line down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Here comes Scott Bailey underneath the 24 of Daniel Jenkins further down the pack. Here comes the 8 of Webb looking for a dive down the inside of Brown. He gets the nose in front. They run side by side out of the turn. Jeremy Webb slotting into position number 5 and chasing down fourth place of Jaden Bush with 5 laps remaining. Ben Gilmore in the 83 car catching right up to the back of the Lacrin machine, putting all sorts of pressure as we've got Bush spun around and McLaughlin's going to collect and goes on the side. 24 Daniel Jenkins and the 67 machine just managing to keep going. And that'll bring on the yellow once again with 4 laps to go. The 67 car of Jaden Bush in all sorts of tangles last weekend. They were very lucky to get that car repaired and back for this weekend's TQ Masters. Todd leading from Lacrin. The battle for third and fourth. All eyes will be on that. Dwayne Todd just dictating the start. Ben Gilmore getting down the inside and Webb round the outside of the 14 of Lacrin. Here comes Ben Gilmore down the inside of the 2 of Todd. And Webb running side by side down into the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Webb's up high. Gilmore's down low, and Gilmore sliding in front of the Webb machine. Webb going to have to go high side again, although he comes right back in behind the bumper of the 83. Meanwhile, out in front, the 2 car just slightly gaining an advantage over these two, having a battle with 2 laps to go this time round. White flag will be out for the race leader next time round. Meanwhile, the battle for second and third. Bit of smoke coming out of the 24 car. Hopefully that's nothing to major as we come out of the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. White flag out for Dwayne Todd, just 1 lap to go in the 2NZ car. The battle still right there for second and third. It's Gilmore at this stage over the 8 of Webb, and Paul Lecrin in behind as they head into the Stadium Cars Prison Bend for the final time. And out of turn number 4, the checkered flag falls for 2NZ, Dwayne Todd. 83, Ben Gilmore home in second from the 8 of Jeremy Webb. 14, Paul Lecrin from 74, Sean Brown. Bailey, Glover, Jenkins, Highslop, Bush and Yellowlees rounding out the K&T Drainage TQ Midgets qualifying heat number 4, Group 2 versus 4. Alicia McLaughlin will start on the outside of row number 1 in car 6N. Alicia McLaughlin set to go from grid number 2. Ryan Chapman in the 92 car is a scratching. It's meant to start from grid number 1. 47 from Auckland, Morgan McHugh will go from grid number 3. The 8 of Jeremy Webb will go from grid position number 4. 11, Liam McCoubry will start out of position number 5. 21, Tim Yellowlees will go from grid number 6. 12, Kimberly Yeatman will go from grid number 7. And the 16 of Kyle Glover set to go from grid 8. 1NZ, Matt Leversedge will go from grid number 9. And the 67 from Auckland of Jaden Bush will go from grid position number 10. Grid number 11 was the 41 of Jason Graham. That is a scratching. And grid number 12, the 93 of Ben Smith. Grid number 13 is the 26 of Gavin Chappell. And grid number 14 is the 74 of Sean Brown. Grid number 15, the 17 car of Hayden Guptill from Auckland. And after winning the modified sprint race, he jumps into 83 TQ. Ben Gilmore just at the gate waiting for the field to come round. He will start at a grid position number 16. That's Ben Gilmore in the 83 car. So that is the lineup for the K&T Drainage. This is qualifying heat number 5, and this is set to go over 15 laps. So the field forming up behind the Equus Pace Ute. Alicia McLaughlin got that front row all to herself. Bit unlucky last weekend over in Greymouth at the New Zealand TQ title. Just was in the wrong place at the wrong time in too many instances and didn't qualify, but she's certainly coming here to put on a charge in the Jack's Tyres number 6 from Nelson. The 47 of Morgan McHugh from Auckland. This is a fresh car for Morgan. Hasn't done a lot of meetings in the 47. And certainly ventured on to the South Island. Bit of experience in the quarter midgets before stepping up to the TQ ranks. It's great to see a lot of TQ drivers have come through from the quarter midget ranks and vice versa and moving on up to the midgets. Certainly names of that pedigree are Michael Pickens, Brad Mosen, just to name a couple. This is the K&T Drainage TQ Masters qualifying heat number 5, group 1 versus 4. We're getting set to go 15 laps, and they drop the green flag, and Alicia McLaughlin leads them off, but here comes Jeremy Webb in the 8 car right around the outside, and he moves straight into the race lead. Slotting in behind there is the 6 of Alicia McLaughlin. Here comes the 41 of Morgan McHugh right round the outside. He's using the high line, not able to get a pass. In fact, Liam McCoubry in the 11 car slots right underneath and takes away that third position. All over the tail end of the 6 is McCoubry. Look out for the NZ1 car of Matt Leversedge as they head down into the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Once again, the race leader Webb is cleared away from the field. McLaughlin holding up a train of cars, with the first one in the queue being the 11 of Liam McCoubry. The 93 of Ben Smith having a good battle there with the 17 of Hayden Guptill from Auckland. Guptill using the higher part of the racetrack. Meanwhile, Leversedge looking for a pass down the inside, the 47. Oh, McHugh spun it up. He's managed to keep it going in the right direction. Just manages to keep the car rolling. That will not bring out the yellow. They carry on. And that seems to have spread the field up a little bit. Here goes Kimberly Yeatman battling with Ben Smith in the 93. Smith down low with Yeatman up high. Smith's got to run side by side down the back straight. That is for 5th position. And Yeatman's up high once again. Smith right down on the pole line, gets in front, almost a bit of wheel contact, but Yeatman having to back right out of it. Here comes Ben Gilmore, started out of grid position 16. Mind you, there were a couple of cars missing, so he's made a couple more positions. And right on the bumper of Yeatman, here comes the 17 of Guptill. That is for the 7th and 8th position. Gilmore now in front of Yeatman and Guptill. Here comes Guptill trying to find a way, just gives the back bumper a bit of a tap on the Gilmore machine. Trying to find a way past the 12 of Yeatman. Can't do it, slots in behind. Here comes Jaden Bush in the 67 car. Closing in on the back of Guptill, looking for a run as they head down in the stadium cars. Prison Bend, just 7 laps to run. And Levisage has managed to get himself in front of Alicia McLaughlin for 3rd position. So it's Webb miles out in front from Macoubri, Levisage, Alicia McLaughlin. Here comes Ben Gilmore on the tail of Ben Smith. It's the two Bens having a battle for 5th and 6th position on the racetrack. And it's Smith leading from Gilmore. Gilmore's going to try and find the outside line. Doesn't make the pass stick, has to slot in behind. And Sean Brown going past the 47 of Morgan McHugh, so he's dropped right back down into the 10th and 11th position. Brown trying to get underneath the 26 of Gavin Chappell through the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Has to slot into the rears. Now pulls up alongside through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend, running side by side. Brown's got a whirl in front. Chappell runs around the outside. They still go side by side down into the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Brown has to get out of the throttle. Here comes Gilmore now on a pass on Smith. And Hayden Guptill's going to try around the outside through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Smith driving down the inside. They head down side by side into the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Just a couple of laps left to go for the race leader. Yellow Lee's making a mistake. He's towards the tail end of the field. Levisage, with a couple of laps to go, is reeling in Macoubri. Has he got enough laps to make it past for 2nd? He's not going to catch the race leader Webb with the white flag to come out this time round. Hayden Guptill's trying to find a way past the 93 of Ben Smith. As Webb starts the final lap, the checkered flag will fly next time around. Levisage, is he close enough to the back of Macoubri as they head down the back straight for the final time? No doubt about the race leader. He crosses the line. He will take the win. The battle really on for 2nd and 3rd. It's going to be close. Levisage down the inside and Macoubri getting there from the 11, from the 1NZ of Matt Levisage. The next one will be Alicia McLaughlin. Ben Gilmore getting in front of Ben Smith, Hayden Guptill, Kimberly Yeatman, Jaden Bush, Kyle Glover, Sean Brown, Gavin Chappell, Morgan McHugh, and rounding out the field is the 21 of Tim Yellowlees.
Want a great night out for all the family? Want great value? Need excitement? Need action, thrills, speed and spills? Then you need to be at your local Speedway's next race meeting. It's got it all! Speedway, the entertainment sport.
But right now we're here at City South Vanspear's Ruapuna Speedway. This is Group number 2 versus Group number 3. This is the K&T Drainage TQ Masters qualifying Heat number 6. Group 2 versus Group 3. The grids for this one, 62. Mark Morris will start on grid number 1. 18. Shane Phillips on the outside of the front row. 19 from Christchurch, Mike Hyslop will start out of grid 3. 72. Brett Booth will go from grid number 4. 2NZ. Dwayne Todd will go from grid number 5, and the 3NZ running 71 of Danny Keane, starting out of grid position number 6. On the outside of row number 4, it is the 8 of Craig Todd. Gareth Bindon was due to start out of grid 7. He is scratching after a bit of a smoke in the first heat tonight. 24 Daniel Jenkins will go from grid 9. Clayton Phillips in the 14 from grid number 10. 87 Scott Bailey will go from grid 11. 88 Matt Davison from 12. 13 will be car number 14 Paul Lecren. Daniel McKinlay starting out of grid 14. And the 94 car of Charles Gardner will start out of position number 15. So that's how they'll line up for the final qualifying heat for the K&T Drainage TQ Masters. 15 laps the distance. getting set to go. They'll just start to pick up the pace as they head through the stadium cars. Prison Bend up to the box. They're going to start side by side for the green to be dropped. And they drop it. And it's Shane Phillips in the 18 car leads the field down there. Oh, it's very tight, very tight. They almost go 3 wide through the exit of the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Second and third, that's where the battle is. And it will be the 62 of Morris that comes out in second. Here comes Danny Keane down the inside. And Morris has got a problem. He is slowing very, very fast and heading right out to the wall. That will bring on a yellow for sure.
Wow, that's got a drama there as Danny Keane was starting to apply the blowtorch.
And they didn't get... They got one in the books.
One in the books.
So 14 laps to go. Shane Phillips just took them all by surprise on the start, of course, starting on the outside of the front row. Boy, Danny Keane starting on the outside of the third row out of grid position number 6. Already found himself into second. Dwayne Todd in the 2NZ car slotted. Sorry, it is the 8 of Craig Todd. No, it is the 2
You can't
of
even
Dwayne.
tell the difference
No,
between
you
those
can't.
numbers. No, you can't.
So Dwayne Todd leads Craig Todd. That's positions 3 and 4. Looks like we're getting set to go.
It's a Toddathon. Well, what's he doing?
He's going back to where he thinks he is.
No, you can't do that. Surely.
Well,
Surely you
he's
can't
going to
put him
argue the
there.
point right up to the
Surely
start.
you can't put him there. Play on's the call, but wow, what a shambles.
And Keane down into the lead underneath the 18 of Phillips. Here comes the 2 car of Todd. They run side by side. The race leaders, Keane and Phillips. Phillips down right on the pole line. And Keane's going to drive right upside as they go side by side again down the front straight. Keane dropping to the lower line to defend from Phillips. Boy, these two are running side by side. And Keane's got the advantage into the turn. He has to drift up a little wider. And we've got the 62 car again.
Again, I think he might stop and see if he can get restarted back at the front.
Well, I think he's going infield.
No, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. What's
And
going on?
He's come to a stop. That will be game over. Surely.
What rule book is he running to? It's the second time he stopped. I've got an idea. Why don't we put him back in the front and give him a lap advantage?
Well, he still might not finish the race.
Oh, he's off. Standing ovation and all. I've never seen a ruling like that in all my life. You stop on the track and you get your position back. That's just... Oh,
Aaron Drever's lost for words.
I'm lost for words. Warwick, it must be a South Island thing.
Especially been done because you're visiting us, Aaron, you see. I'm not sure what the story was there.
But you agree, Warwick, don't you? You don't usually stop on the track, bring the caution on, get your spot back.
No, he thought obviously there wasn't a complete lap completed. They was going for a restart, which was technically not correct, was it?
No.
They had completed that first lap. The lead cars had, anyway.
Play on's the call.
And Phillips down low. Keane going straight higher to the top shelf. He may have a run down the inside of Phillips as they head down to the stadium cars. Prison Bend. Here comes Todd round the outside in the 8 car. He's right on the bumper of Keane as they run in Indian file through the turn. Craig Todd's got to run down the inside. He moves through into second place on Keane.
Oh, he's a Usain Bolt of TQ drivers, isn't he, as Craig Todd?
He certainly is, putting all sorts of pressure now onto the race leader, the 18 of Phillips. Still sitting in that third position is Danny Keane. Keane will look for a pass down the inside. That's where he's been running. And behind is Dwayne Todd in the 2NZ car.
Todd's really the only driver that's looking to run that top shelf. Everyone else is follow the leader. It's more of a procession rather than a heat race. As here goes Todd, he winds the rubber band up, Nathan.
Yes, slotting down the inside, has to tuck in once again. He's going to try an outside move. He's lines him up through the CJ Phillips Town Bend. Will he get the drive out of turn 4 or will he get squished out wide? I think he got a little bit of a squeeze, but he's come back strong to the top.
Oh, the inches in it. In one side, out the other. put down
And,
AJ's
we've got
car.
one. We've got one.
Oh, no, we're going to premature yellow.
Clayton Phillips.
Oh. Well, Warwick, based on our ruling so far, I think we should put Clayton Phillips in the front.
Well, yeah, we're grateful that some of them have self-starters. They can get themselves away, but yeah, it was a bit of a close call there. So he should just be rejoining at the tail of the field. But yeah, I wish some of these other TQ drivers would watch Craig Todd there, and you know, they'd spice it up for a bit of for some of us, wouldn't they, if they started changing some lines and trying something a little bit different.
Well, heaven forbid we'll have passing with 8 laps to go.
Back on the hammer, and it's Phillips that leads the field, and Todd again to the top.
He's working that line. You are right. I think he's gonna try and go inside outside. Gets the rundown. No, can't do it. Door slammed.
Here comes the other Todd on the back of Keane. Through the Stadium Cars Prison Bend. Once again has to slot. Maybe looking for a run down the inside is the 8 car of Craig Todd.
Tell you what, must be a formidable sight in the TQ seeing those Todds coming in one side out the other.
Paul Lecren in the 14. Looking for a way past the 4 of Daniel McKinley. He's got him down the inside. It's Pole Line Paul.
Pole Line Paul. Love it, Nathan. Love it. Tell you what, we've only got about 6 or so laps to go. TQ action, turning it up here at Ruapuna Speedway. 5 to go. 10 in the books, 5 to go.
And it's Phillips still leading the way. He's just starting to open a bit of a margin over Todd. Here comes Todd round the outside. Has he got the momentum this time? Not quite, has to slip in behind. He's certainly got the run into the turn, just can't keep the momentum through the middle and out the other side. Danny Keane still in that 3rd position, being chased down by the 8 of Craig Todd with just 3 laps to go. This time round, we've got a slow one on the front straight. That's Brett Booth. Will that become a factor for Shane Phillips and the 2NZ car of Dwayne Todd? Can he set a pass up? No, they go past him down the back straight. The white flag will come out within the next lap or so. And Phillips is just starting to open up a bit of a margin, with Keane now starting to pressure the 2NZ. Has he got a run down the inside? No, he doesn't.
Just boggled a bit there, did the car at Todd, and it's just probably going off song. White flag, 1 to go. I think you can probably click your bit, Nathan. I think it's 5:18 to take victory.
Certainly looking that way with half a lap to go. The battle is there for 2nd and 3rd though. The last couple of spots on the podium. Remember, this is only a qualifying heat for tomorrow night. And out the other side, it will be 18. Shane Phillips taking the win. 2nd will be Dwayne Todd from 71. Danny Keane. That's the top 3. Todd from Bailey and Pole Line Paul. Paul Lecren finishing in 6th place.